So I'm like, maybe I can ask people how deep I should go on things. Ha!
Yeah. Hey, we can use this as a sales tool. And hello, everybody. Welcome to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Buechler. I am live in San Francisco, California. And this is a surprise. It's a surprise live stream. We were supposed to be on Comics Division's channel tonight. And unfortunately, he's sick. So Comics, get better, dude. We hope you feel better. And I wish he was here. I wish we were talking to him. But it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I want him to take care of himself first. That's way more important.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. But go show Comics Division some love, you guys.
Yes. Yeah. As a matter of fact, when this rolls over into a video, I'll have a link to his channel, and please subscribe. He's at like almost at 600 subscribers, and he should be way higher than that. And he will be. He will be. I have absolutely no doubt. He has good stuff, and he's funny, and his live streams are great. They're very insightful, and yeah. So, lots of love for you, man. I don't know if he's out there watching, but Ed Brewer's here, and Penn Farm Girl, who are regulars on my channel here, and Metal Horror Gamer. What's up, man? And Ed Brewer, thank you for the super chat. I'll start out there. He says, "I appreciate the quality entertainment. Looking forward to next week's Thunderdome."
Yes,
may the best
it's on.
It's so I have to admit, I was like, oh, I don't want to fight Feisty Fan.
Oh, it'll be fine.
And then you said, no, bring it. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, don't just because I'm feisty doesn't mean you can't bring it.
Right on. And Penn Farm Girl says she has already subscribed to Comics Division and hope he feels better.
Yay!
So that is great. So yeah, we're just gonna sit here and chat with y'all tonight. Feisty Fan is she, as you see, she's anonymous. I'm showing my face. It's kind of rude. I show my face on the channel. I just do. She doesn't for very good reasons. We don't need clapback or anything, even though she's super positive and like a great salesperson.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, you are. And she is currently running a comic store in an undisclosed location. And I am a former comic book retailer of 10 years in San Francisco, California. Here's my shirt, the Comic Outpost. We have issues. And
that's awesome.
Multi-layered. I know, right? Multi-layered tagline there.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, well, let's start out. How was your week at the store? How'd you guys do?
Okay, so I mentioned this on Anglin channel last night. We actually had one of the best sales day that wasn't a weekend on New Comic Book Day. So yeah, it was to everybody's dismay. We got books there, no hiccups. People showed up in droves. So yeah, it was a really good sales day, but people were picking up a lot of the Batmans. So White Knight sold really well. Batman. A lot of people picking up both covers because it was the tie-in to the wedding. So they both got, the Batman looking snazzy in a suit, and Selena, looking great in that dress.
Yes. Wow. A wedding in comics. Go figure. I love that. There would have been a time about probably a decade ago that if you would have told me that, I would have gone, fuck no, hell no. What are you kidding me? Batman getting married? But no, I think it's great now.
Oh yeah, like I ship Bat and Cat hard. So.
Yeah, it's about damn time. Well done. DC's been kicking so much ass lately. It's wonderful. It's wonderful to see.
Yeah, I think I took a picture of last week, and there were I think 5 Marvel titles on the wall. So I don't know what that says about that, but yeah, no, DC's paying the bills, man. They're paying the bills.
And it's good that they can do that. I was always curious if they could. They were in hard times when I sold the store in 2013. It was right before New 52 was kind of fizzling out, and it was right before they restarted everything. So and Marvel Now had just started, so Marvel was just kicking ass. It looked like it could do no wrong, but man, they found a way. And I'm almost glad I wasn't around to see it. I don't know how I would have handled things in 2014, 2015, 16. It would have been rough.
That's when, in 2014 is when it was right a little after Actually, it was right around the time I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis is when I got back into comics because, it was my escape, my way of doing something that wasn't requiring a lot of physical activity because I'm kind of limited on that now. So like any energy that I have, I usually just put into my job now. So and that's having that to look forward to and that distract me kind of and I like it. I get to be around people and talk about things that I really enjoy. But yeah, it was kind of weird coming back into the whole swing of things after being got like I think when I got married in 2009 is when I liquidated my collection because I needed money for my wedding. Imagine that.
Yeah. Yeah, right. Oh yes, I've been through a couple. So I did a really expensive one and a cheap one. But by the way, all positive vibes to you
Oh,
and
thank you.
your health. Everybody send good wishes to
Oh,
Feisty Fan
thank
because
you.
like
Yeah.
your energy like comes through the screen. It kind of gives me goosebumps. Like it's like you are the perfect person to be running a comic store.
Oh, thank you.
I'm serious. So we still have the stigma of the comic book guy, and there's still people out there who, I mean, they love comics, but maybe they just didn't have a lot of customer service training. And we've done some talking, and you've been in retail forever, and God, does that help? Just
Oh
being,
gosh, yeah.
yeah, and being able to talk up, but more importantly, it's actually being into what you do, and I'm sure you're finding this out that even if you own a comic store, like not all comic shop owners read comics, and a lot of them are kind of over it, but they just do it because it's their job, and
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. It's not a judgment or anything, because even I hit my limit. The burnout factor is it's pretty amazing in comics because it's relentless. You know how it is. Like every
Yes.
week, FOC never stops.
I know. I just I did a long string today of FOC titles for I think it was May 2nd releases. So if you go to my Twitter channel at Feisty Comic Fan, I've got I think I should pin it. I have the previews one for June titles up right now, but yeah, I got FOC for this week Monday. So if you go on my Twitter feed, find that out, you'll see titles that you can pre-order to make sure you get what one of the biggest ones is probably the Superman, or either I think it's the Superman special or the Action Comics special. Number one, I think it's Jurgen's last one go on that, I believe. Maybe not. I could be wrong. But yeah, it's 25 cents, guys. It'll be available on free comic book day too, which is Cinco de Mayo this year.
Yes.
Yeah, we got some really cool stuff planned this year. I'm excited. I think my husband's band's going to be playing at the shop this year, so I'm excited.
That is cool. God, maybe we should go down there. Maybe we should go down to your shop. Not saying where it is, but we want to do something for Free Comic Book Day, Dennis and I. We've been kind of floating it around. I'm not sure what, but I don't know. Whatever. I go down to SoCal a lot because Mom's down there. So, yeah. Ed Brewer says, "All right, I just got the notice for this stream. Twitter got me here early." That's right, because Feisty was wonderful enough to throw it out there and let us know.
I try.
Yeah, that's good. So another sad thing happened. I'm sorry to be so depressing, but I definitely need to mention this. I don't know if you ever met him. You might have gotten in too late, but Dave Hawksworth, who worked for Diamond Comics distributor. I'm going to see if I can find a picture while I babble here. Was the nicest man. Okay, I won't speak for you. I talk a lot of shit about Diamond.
Oh, everyone talks a lot of shit about Diamond.
But he was the good guy at Diamond. He was their outside sales rep. And yeah, he passed away January 17th. I just found out like last night. I was really depressed about this because we were friends. Like he was my friend. We talked to each other quite often. Yeah, it was hard for him to. I knew he was not feeling good. I didn't know how bad it was, and I'm gonna bring up a picture. He was just the jolliest, nicest man, and a great representative of Diamond. And I'm gonna share it here while I'm babbling. I wanted to give him his condolences, and there he is. He's just that smile is him. That's how he was. He was a great representative company. He actually listened to our problems. If we had some major problems, he would make a phone call and it would get like taken care of immediately, right? So yeah, he was just a nice guy. So I just want to say best to his family and sorry for Diamond, and I miss you, Dave. I really do. I was really sad last night. So I don't mean, we're going to talk about more positive things, but I wanted to bring that up before we totally bash Diamond, because that's not going to free us from bashing Diamond.
Well, if we want to keep it positive for right now, sure. Yeah. So I was looking over our invoice yesterday and this morning, and I noticed that 7 titles had that nice little hashtag next to it. If for those of you who aren't familiar with reading Diamond invoices, there's a little hashtag that says partially filled orders. 7 Marvel titles were partially filled, but we were getting like 1 copy. So I called my rep this morning. I was like, hey, person, this, normally if it was like 1 title, it would be fine, but I've got 7 titles that, that's like almost $900 of revenue we're going to be missing out on. So what can we do to fix this? So she said, she was on the phone with me for a good like 20, 30 minutes. So she's like, you know what? I got to talk to my supervisor, give me the best phone number for you. And I'm on the West Coast, they're on the East Coast. So, around, what was it? Like 1 was starting to roll around and I'm like, okay, I haven't heard from them. And then they called me and they're like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and fill the remainder, emergency ship it out to you and waive the shipping fee. So they actually came through for us. So I'm very, very grateful to my rep right now. So
that is good. I don't know if you want to drop your, oh
yeah, I'm not going to drop.
Yeah, don't drop your, I'll just talk to you about that back channel, because yes. I'm wondering if he's still there. He's super cool dude. Yeah, there was a while they did that for me, and then they stopped. They just started charging me the shipping, and it got pretty frustrating. And when they did a big warehouse change about 5 or 6 years ago, there's this giant warehouse in Tennessee, and that's why a lot of your books are just damaged now all the time. There's a lot of spine damage. It's because they're on these giant conveyor belts and they don't have permanent employees there. It's just contract employees who don't know anything about comics and just grab them like they're any old periodical, which they're not. And yeah, excuse me. That's why they come in bad shape. I am so against, even if it's a bad comic, I had a hard time strip covering. Like it was so hard for me to do.
Oh gosh, yes. Oh my God, it is so hard. Like, what was it? We did. I started working around the time when I think it was late 2016, and all the like number 1s and number 2s of Rebirth were up for strips, and so I was working on the online portion of my store's venture and helping out with that. That's actually how I started working with as I was on disability, but I hate, like, I'm not like totally disabled where I'm like, I can do stuff. So I was just, working under the table, whatever. And, but yeah, ripping off covers, man. I'm like, this goes against everything.
I know. And I know DNC does this thing, and I understand it. It still makes me cringe when
I know I can't. I'm like, oh, why? I'll tell a funny story too. So my current coworker, the first time I met him was like 2 years ago, and I came in. I was on a lunch break, I think. Yeah, and I came into the shop and I was picking up my pull, and the gentleman in front of me, he's like, "Oh, boss." Then or whatever, it was like, yeah, do you need bags and boards? He's like, nah, I'm good. And he starts chucking his books behind him, and I literally squealed. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I don't give a fudge. So yeah, it was
like, sir, I cannot sell you comics anymore.
I know. Well, I was actually, that was when I was customer. Yeah. So, but now I'm working with him, and
you cannot buy comics anymore.
I know, right?
Son of a bitch. No. I know. Metal Horror Gamer says, I couldn't rip off a cover, let alone destroy a book. I don't like destroying anything. I hate to waste anything. That is the best way to put it. It really is. I mean, it's waste, but the comic book itself, this is how I knew I could be. This is how you know you can be a good comic book retailer, is if you're at my humble age of 48 and still, like, I get really excited.
Wow, you look really good for your age.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much. It was all those drugs I did in the 80s. They preserved me somehow.
Got it.
Yeah. Now, thank you so much. When I crack open a comic, I still get as excited as I did when I was 12. And I know that sounds lame, but I love just the art form of it. It's my favorite medium of, I mean, I like comic books more than I like movies. That's why I don't trip if the movies are not entirely accurate to the comic, because they're not the source material. So I still have the source material. I mean, they could screw up whatever movie you want. It's not going to screw up the comic. You know, I know a bunch of people got mad for the Killing Joke animated series. Dude, just read the comic book. It's still there. You know, it's not going to change anything. So, yeah, that's just how I feel.
No, I'm the same way. That's why, like, I look at movies, TV shows, separate entities. Same thing with books. Like, well, funny enough, I watched how I got into the Harry Potter franchise. Is like, I'll never read a Harry Potter book, you know. But at that time, I was like the actual age to read. You know, I was like, what, 13, 14, and then the first movie came out, and I was like, fuck, this is right up my alley. And then I started reading it and following the movies. And funny enough, I handed the first book to my husband. I was like, give it a chance. And he read it. He's like, I need, like, within, like, I think an afternoon, he's like, we have the second book, right? I'm like, yep. And
yeah, I was saying, I didn't jump in on the first one. My sometimes co-host John here, we were driving down to Comic-Con, and we like to listen to audiobooks. So he said the same thing. He's all, just give it a try. I'm like, I don't know, man. It looks like Tim Hunter from Books of Magic. It looks like a total ripoff. And which, I mean, there's some arguments can be made that it kind of is. But Neil Gaiman's cool with it, by the way. And so we listened to it, and then I had to read it. And it was the fourth book. It was Goblet of Fire. And that was my introduction. And I was just like, I was hooked. Oh, my God.
Awesome.
Got my kids into it. So I wouldn't feel too weird about it.
That's awesome.
Like, you really need to get into this book because Dad's into it way too much.
Yeah.
Yes. Apple Crow says, damn, Feisty looks hot. That's Mary Jane. But yes, Feisty looks just like that, by the way.
Sure. I'll go with it. Yes.
No, she is spirited. She has very animated. You're funny, Apple Crow. Yes, she is a spirited person, though. That's why I that's why she's on this channel. I don't just let anybody on my channel.
I feel
our channel. Sorry.
I feel so grateful and privileged. Yay!
That's such a nice thing to say. Gratitude is something we don't hear a lot in this big comics debate that's out there right now. Which I agree with most of the negative stuff about it. So I'm definitely on one side. I was kind of riding the fence in the beginning, but I jumped on one side pretty hard after some weirdness went around. So yeah, actually, that's funny. Is I did a video like when they first started this stuff that nobody watched, and I actually I took it off the channel. I did. I was too chicken, but it was me ranting pretty good.
I'll find it then.
I will show it to you someday.
Yay!
But it's like it was me screaming, and I'm like, nobody's gonna want to watch me screaming. It's not fun. It's not fun.
I don't think I can get like, well, no, I can. It depends on what's either been said or done to me to make me get that heated. But most of the time, I'm just like, okay, that's cool. Just thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much. What got me heated is because I knew like how this was going to play out, and I was worried about comic stores. And not that I'm some Nostradamus, just I worked in the industry for a decade, and you can read the tea leaves at some point.
Yeah.
Now 50 comic shops later, here we are, and that's part of the reason I'm having you on is like we, for one, a love letter to comic stores, and like we still need some. And I fully plan. It's no secret here. I'm opening another one. It's gonna happen sooner than later. But I've had to wait. I've actually been ready, and I've had to wait because and the Marvel Fresh Start thing at first sounded like a good time to get in, but I'm not so sure now. But you said, you had good sales. Do you feel a turnaround coming?
Um, it's kind of in the air. There's been a lot of people coming, but it's also the end of first quarter. Well, all our stores first quarter. First quarter is always going to be terrible, no matter the January through like mid-April is tough. That is tough in any kind of retail setting. It's the worst, as far as sales go. So, but seeing our numbers this Wednesday, it was like we just made all our money back. Yay! That's
Yes.
awesome. As it so rule of thumb for anybody who wants to know, and I'm sure you're aware of this too. Wednesdays, you're supposed to make what you spent the day before on product. So if you can make even by not selling all your product, you still need to make like enough to just cover that cost. And then anything else is like your overhead and extra money to get more product in. So, but yeah, we actually made enough to cover what we spent on books that week. So yes, very, very good.
That is great for essentially a store that just started. You restarted, and for that
With
to
not
happen,
getting new books for 3 weeks.
yeah,
Yeah, like it's been rough. And people still come in. Oh, I thought you guys were closed. No, we're still open. New ownership. So yeah, it's been crazy. So, but yeah, no, sales have been good this week. So yeah,
that's brilliant. Some chats responding. How's your father? Says I want to see that video right now. How's your father? Someday, someday I will go off on something. I tend to do that. It's been a long time. Oh, probably because I'm really happy with I've got a good life right now. So but yeah, there's something that presses that button, and yeah, ask Dennis. Silver Spike mentioned. Silver Spike is a subscriber interviewer and wonderful. Has worked on like old Doctor Who and a bunch of fun stuff. And they say I worked on 2 Potter movies, but never read any of the books. Sadly, you should. Not to should you, as we say in the program. I don't want to should you, but you should read Harry Potter. It's very good.
I read them at least once a year. So I don't know what that says. I need to get new copies. Mine are actually kind of starting to fall apart. So I'm like, maybe I should just go all in and get the hardcovers.
Yeah. I have a couple first prints I paid a small mint for.
My friend has been sending me first prints of UK copies every year for my birthday for the last like 6 years. So I've got one more book to go. So I'm like, maybe this year I'll actually go to England and pick it up from her. So yeah.
That is a good friend. And yes, you need to go to England. England is wonderful.
Yeah, I've been there before when I was 17. Was like a school theater trip. And I don't know, like going to Stonehenge, the air around, like I was like, that's the most spiritual I think I've ever felt.
Agreed. Don't get me started on
sorry, we digress.
No, it's okay. You were listening to the Monday live stream. I can next Monday's live stream might be all about Ancient Aliens. I don't know.
That's awesome.
I actually
someone asks in the chat too, they're like, is eBay killing local comic shops? Depends, because what was it? The old owner actually did, the brick and mortar, and then has an eBay shop. So that way no product really goes to waste. So it depends on how eBay is used, I guess.
Yeah, eBay is a time suck. So but yes, it at first it hurt the collectibles market. And what you were just saying, it depends on what kind of stuff you're selling. If the store is just selling new toys, yeah, I think it definitely hurts that. If you have the time, and this is just a time and money thing. I was the kind of store that went out and bought collections. I had some new stuff, but I like to have a lot of old stuff that you just couldn't get from Diamond. So it made it a little harder to get it on eBay. Not possible. And that's how I made my money. Is I would buy collections for next to nothing and then sell them whatever they're selling for on eBay. And then I'd try to price them a couple bucks cheaper so people would just, have that instant gratification.
Yeah, we're going to start buying again mid-April. And I just got, or my new boss is coaching me on how to buy. So that'll be exciting.
Oh, that's good. That's great. It's good to have a mentor. Okay. I was coached by Jamie Newbold of Southern California Comics. He taught me how to grade. He, and I'm self-taught on the toy thing. I've been, as you can see, toy collector. So,
Yeah, both the gentlemen that purchase the store are both huge in toys. So I'm like, you guys handle that. I'll handle comics.
that's great. And once you learn how to grade, which it's pretty easy, get yourself a little black light, and you can get like a little handheld black light. You got to go in a dark room, and that way, if you ever get like Silver Age stuff, you can see if it's been, if it's a fake or not.
Awesome.
Actually, my boy Jamie is coming out with a book called The Comic Book Forensic something. I'm sorry, I'm messing up the title. But definitely got you. He's going to actually be on soon too.
Awesome.
I should put you in touch with him. He's been on Pawn Stars, the Pawn Stars show or whatever in Las Vegas. He's their new comic book guy.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he's a cool dude. I just saw, what did I just see? Okay. Metal Horror Gamer says, just curious, how much on average do employees get paid at comic book stores? If you don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to. I was just curious. I'll start. I feel totally comfortable answering because I don't work in one right now. I don't know about Feisty. How about you, Feisty?
I make enough. So I started out at $12 an hour, which I'm that's what they could afford to pay me. But I'm at the point in my life where my husband wonderfully is the breadwinner. Like hands down, anything I make is like extra bills and our fun money. So I started at $12 an hour. My new bosses bumped me up to 14. But I'm going to get another raise and partial ownership in the next few months. So I'd rather have that. So that way I can invest more time and love and care into the shop and not feel like I'm being overworked. So, but yeah, I'm making $14 an hour right now. I'm okay. Like I said, it's enough. I'm not a needy, greedy person. So that's, yeah.
That's
entry
great.
level. Yeah. Entry level is probably always going to be minimum wage.
Yeah, that's for an employee at a store, you're always going to make minimum. You'll probably get a deal on your comics. Some stores, this is totally illegal, but I mean, this has been going on for years and years. Some stores will have a person come in, work for a couple of days just for comic books, completely under the table, and they don't officially work there, but that happens all the time. And as far as what I got paid, I'll just come out there and tell you. So I was fortunate enough to have my wife makes a hell of a lot more money than I do. So that's cool. But I do okay too. But at the comic store, I had some amazing years where I brought home anywhere between $70,000 and $80,000 a year. And then there's a couple of years I brought home 20. It's really up and down and how much cash flow you take out. I always tried to even it out as much as I could. And it's a hit or miss business. And but as far as employees, it's always going to be kind of entry level. I tried to pay my employees, I think it was $13.50 an hour at the time. But I also I let them take a certain amount of comics for free.
Yeah, I pretty much, anything other than what is on my pull, like I library. So I just have to read stuff, bring it back. We have like a checkout system. And then I get a very amazing deal when I want to purchase something. So, but I told my bosses this week, I was like, I think it's known to anybody that knows me or has heard me on other streams. I'm a huge Wolverine fan. He's my guy. I collect everything. So I said, I'm like, you are not to give me a deal on variants and anything for this next Wolverine event coming up, because I want to be in this as a collector and as a fan than a comic book, retailer. So they're like, that's fine. I'm like, okay, good. Because that way I don't feel guilty and I don't feel like I'm getting one up, like I'm not, I'm on even keel with all our customers.
That's cool. God, they like I said, they're blessed to have you. I would not allow you. I would just do that. But yes, Feisty's comic store location is top secret, unfortunately, but we have to keep it that way. For reasons. Yeah, that's great. Again, they're so lucky to have, and I love Wolverine. Okay, so you know, my youngest son is named after Wolverine.
Yeah,
Yes, Wolverine is tattooed on my left calf or right. I forgot now.
that's awesome.
It's on one of my calves. And yes, and I'm like one of the only people in the world who like preferred Wolverine to the X-Men. Like I just liked his solo title. I didn't really, I read him in the
I'm
X-Men,
the
but
same way. I did, like I said, I'm recollecting my collection. So like I said, I went down to, you might have Frankensons,
oh yeah.
and yeah, and I finally got Wolverine number 100, and that was the one of the ones I was missing in volume 2. So I was like, oh, yay! So now I'm only missing like 30 books in the 189 run issues of that run. So that once I finish that, then I'll concentrate on volume 3. So I'm trying to like do it little bit by little bit so I don't go too crazy.
You pace yourself because once you're finished, you're like, what do I do now?
I know. What do I do now?
I gotta collect everything he's appeared in or everything he's mentioned, and yeah, I've gone down that road. It's horrible. Frankensons is why comic conventions do not do well in LA. It's because of Frankensons. That thing's been around forever, by the way. I was going to that in the 90s when I lived in San Diego. That's been it's cool. It's where comic shops used to go to get their stuff for their store, and it turned into just a little mini permanent convention.
Yeah.
How much is it? Oh, is it open 7 days a week now, or is it still just weekends?
It's still, I think, Friday and Saturday only. So,
Friday
or no,
Saturday.
oh no, one Wednesday and Saturdays. Yeah, so that's the only time it's open.
Yeah, and it's bizarre. It's in the city of Industry, which has a population. It's in the middle of LA, by the way, but the city of Industry has a population of 85, I think, because it's a city of industry, and they rented out this big area, and it's just like this. I haven't been there in 7 years, so I don't know if they've moved or not.
I went to it was my first time, so it was an experience. So, but I've been to so many conventions. I'm like, oh, it's just like a little mini convention, but I don't know. Like, but the one thing that I've noticed too, like pops everywhere, walls of pops. So I don't know when the pop bubble is gonna pop, but yeah, it was weird.
It is weird. It just started when I was selling the store. I could not keep those. Okay, I am not the biggest fan of the pops, but they made the store a lot of money. Dennis, my co-host, loves them, and they're everywhere now. But I couldn't keep them in stock. It was nuts. It was like printing money. 2013 was a really good year for comics. I don't know what the hell happened, but it was pretty amazing. It was good. But pops, so they're still selling well at your store.
Yeah, yeah, they are. And we actually we kind of trimmed down the pop section, and we've actually been moving more with a smaller selection. So I think that's what we're going to try to like have them, but not oversaturate the store with them. So
that's smart. Now, you know what? Because I walked by a store at Stonestown Mall up here, and it was the Giant store. It's the San Francisco Giant store, but they had a wall of pops, and I'm like, what? That's weird.
But you can go to like what Hot Topic, and like one half of like I think a quarter of their wall space is pops.
Yeah, I think it's keeping Hot Topic open right now.
Yeah,
to be honest with you. You're welcome for the answer, Metal Horror Gamer. I like it when they're specific what they are. I am a metal horror gamer. Great. That is awesome. And yeah, so let's the chat. I'm sorry, we got to talking to each other now. So
but yeah, so that's what I make. And that's like I said, I don't what you started your employees up, but yeah, that's like I said, it's enough. It's they asked me to work 5 days a week, but with my medical condition, and program, I'm like, hey, I can put up boundaries now. You know what? For my health, I can only work 4 days a week. So I'm only working 4 days a week.
That's great. I wish I could work 4 days a week, but that's good that you can work, that you get to work that much, and it's you can.
I'm very fortunate. Yeah, like I said, I'm very fortunate that my husband is the breadwinner, and he's very supportive of this, and he always says, all the time, he's like, I'm so proud of you. You're always happy now. And it's just, it's wonderful. So, we're very grateful for each other.
That's awesome. Go husband. Good man. Good man. Neiman99 said, had to laugh. The owner of my local comic shop asked me what to order. Good to know. He holds my opinion in high regard. Hey, maybe he thinks you have good taste. I asked my customers all the time because sometimes you're just clueless on stuff. It's, you know, you can't read everything as much as we try. How many comics do you read? Like, we'll say a week. How many comics you read a week, Feisty?
A lot. Too many.
Too many.
Too
Yeah.
many. Well, it ranges. I get the stuff that I want, and then I pick about 5 to 6 other titles. So probably 25 a week, 25 or 30.
Yeah, that's about what I read. And it's, you don't get tired of it. Sometimes you got to crack open ones I had no desire in reading. Like, no offense to anybody out there, I was just never a GI Joe Transformers guy, but I had to read those. God, I've read so many of those. The Devil's Due stuff back in the day was good, but wow. IDW, there's a lot of talk about IDW lately. I am honestly surprised this company has lasted this long. Their comics are so expensive. I don't know how they've been. You could tell me better. Like if they've improved. They had a lot of properties, expensive comic books. I was never crazy about their art. I mean, I loved them because they were from San Diego, my hometown. But what has happened to IDW?
That's a good question. I was funny. I'll go pull up. Let me pull up this month's FOC and try to find IDW titles. Or let me go to this week's FOC. Oh wait, can't. Yes, no. I want to save changes. I'm working on the monthly order too, so yeah, I'm like, wait, no.
Yeah, do not save changes. That's right. Yes, I'm an Optimus Prime denier. I love Optimus. I like the cartoon. I thought it was awesome.
Let's go to the IDW section. La 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 la. So okay. Yeah, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 15 titles in this section. And I think we've ordered 10, maybe 15 books out of all of them.
So on average, 1 per title.
Yeah.
Yikes. Yeah, they used to have Angel, so I would sell a ton of Angel because we had a bunch of Buffy fans at the time.
Yeah.
And like when Lock and Key was around, that sold great. I'm trying to think of what original stuff they had. And they used to 30 Days a Night, of course, and Cal McDonald Mysteries. But
that's doing really well. I think we order like 7 to 8. That's selling really well. By the way, like 8 to 10 titles is selling well in our shop. So
no, I mean, I remember Cal McDonald has the best comic called Love Me Tenderloin. It's just a little one shot, and it's about meat, and it's hilarious. Steve Niles is great. Is he still at IDW? Steve Niles still around?
I don't know.
My buddy Ben Templesmith was the artist for 30 Days a Night, and he's done some other. Did the Cal McDonald. He has a very trippy art style. It's more painted and digital. He did a Doctor Who book too. I don't know where he is nowadays, but that was when they were like, that's how they built their brand, was on 30 Days a Night. That was many years ago though, so I don't know. James Hayes says almost all of IDW's titles are licensed properties, and that's good and bad until you piss off the license, and then you're in trouble.
When I started reading again, I was doing the Doctor Who titles. And I had to stop because it was getting like too crazy. I was like, okay, there's like 5 or 6 issues a month or whatever, or I don't know what they were doing, but I did see a Doctor Who title, I think last week or last month when I was doing monthly orders. So I think they still have Doctor Who, but they're I think it's the 10th Doctor that still go 10 or 11. I think 11. That's the only one that's still ongoing, I believe. So, but they might come out with a new run with the new Doctor 13 or 14. What are we on now?
We're on 13. Doctor number 13. Well, technically 14 if you count the War Doctor, but we're not supposed to count the War Doctor. So,
done.
But yes, I love Doctor Who.
I'm a huge Doctor Who fan too. So
yeah,
That's why I like you.
See? Wolverine, Doctor Who, there it is. If I like punch that bookshelf right here that you can't see, I will get rained on by hundreds of Doctor Who toys. Wow, why did my camera go out of focus? That was weird. Yeah. So yeah.
Oh yeah, Titan Comics.
Titan Comics.
Yeah,
yes.
that's right. They have Doctor Who.
God, I have some original Ben Templesmith art like right over there, but I can't reach it. And I would show you, but you guys know who Ben Templesmith is. Yeah, he's actually a really he's gotten some grief from some of our friends on other channels, but he's actually a really nice guy. He is. He is.
That's
I've had
good.
him over. Yeah. Do the new seasons with a female doctor. It starts
2019, right?
Later this year, I think. It's a year break though. They're not doing her any favors by having another year break. I think Doctor's kind of dead.
I tweeted about that too. Like I was like, oh yeah, it's really like, what was it with John Wick? Like #1 came out and it was awesome. And then a couple people came at like, what was it? October, November, I want to say. And I think the second issue comes out either this month or next month. But when you get a good traction on a book and the hype is good and then you delay it, people forget it exists. Like it's really sad. Like it'll kill a title.
Doesn't matter how good it is.
Yeah.
You remember the Ultimates when the Ultimates was out? The Ultimates was selling like crazy, and to tell you how long it took the original Ultimates, the Avengers version of it, I remember buying it in my comic store when it started in San Diego in like 2000, and when it finished, I had owned a comic store for 2 years and moved to San Francisco, and it was a 12-issue run, and while it still sold well, it sold a third of what it could because of of delays. You know, this happens. We bitch about this when we cover TV too. Like a TV show will take a week break for like whatever reason, and then the ratings go down, and they wonder why. It's the same thing. We want stuff now. We are an instant gratification society. So to delay a book for whatever reason is very bad. That hurts Saga a lot.
Yeah, we were selling, I think, 80 copies of Saga. Now we're lucky if we can move like 40.
Yeah, because they took that weird break for the artist. And to get your high level of art, there's ways to, like, it's okay to take a couple months off, but not big breaks. And it's once in a while. So I don't know. That's always bugged me. I understand artists aren't machines and they can't come out and just produce, and they have lives and things happen. And that's generally what it is like the artist has something dramatic happen in their life and they just can't draw, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was in contact with one today, as a matter of fact. And I can tell you guys about this. He's my buddy, Derek Robertson. We've been teasing it on this channel forever. And maybe you should come on. So we're going to have him on. He's the artist from Transmetropolitan, The Boys, Happy,
awesome.
Yeah, and he's done some Wolverine with Greg Rucka.
Nice.
I own some of that art. And
jealous.
Yeah. Oh my God. He drew the best Wolverine story, and it was him versus the Punisher when the Punisher like runs over him with a forklift, and he's like fighting a skeleton, and it's Garth Ennis and Derek Robertson.
Oh, that's awesome.
God, it was so fucking funny. Yeah, he's gonna be on soon. So
yay! I'll tune in for that one.
Oh yeah, he's fun. He's a good time. He'll be good. DC artists are the best. Yes. I don't know what's IMO. I'm sorry. I'm dumb.
In my opinion.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Internet stupid. Ed Brewer, you're right now. I think their art is leaps and bounds better than Marvel.
Well, like DC sniped all the good ones, and I'm really surprised that they've actually landed what is it, Donny Cates as a writer, Zdarsky, who else is exclusive now that DC hasn't picked off. But yeah, I know a lot of people are moving from Marvel to DC, and I think that's another reason why DC is doing so well, is because the quality people that Marvel has lost is going to other ventures, either doing stuff for themselves with Image, or going to DC.
Yeah, and you know, this happens all the time. They snipe each other all the time, but DC's just a better work environment. You know, and I know a lot of people have heard that, but it clearly is. And EVS has talked about this on his channel. But depending on the contract you have, you actually get benefits at DC to where Marvel you generally don't, I believe, unless you're like a full-time employee, which they don't do very often, and that helps quite a bit. So excuse me. But yeah, it's DC looks like a fun place to be. That's why Bendis has gone over there. I don't know. I don't know how great of an idea that is.
We'll see.
Yeah, I heard you guys talking about it on another stream, and it was hilarious. Feisty Fan was on a couple streams recently. She was on I Love Comics. Was it 2 nights ago or last? I can't remember.
Last night?
It was last night. God damn. And then Comics Division on Monday. Was it Monday?
Tuesday?
Monday or Tuesday. But yeah, definitely check them out. Last night's live stream was great. I actually listened to it again during work today. It was so good. Yeah. And if you're kind of new to our channel, if you like subscribe due to Legion, we don't do this all the time. This was just something I felt like doing. I had a free Thursday night, and Feisty was kind enough to come on and chat with us. No, this is great. Hope I'm not boring you all with all this comic book talk, but I love talking to Feisty, and she's not boring. So there you go.
Oh, thank you. I try not to be. I can be sometimes, but it depends on what I'm talking about.
Oh boy, no, hell no, not to me. Now, if only DC could get their live action side sorted out. Totally, right? They'll work it out eventually.
It's maybe a little too little too late, maybe, because honestly, like I think that's why they're having that problem, is because the Marvel's focus is more on movies rather than, comics. But, like I said, DC is really doing well with what's on the stands.
They are. And I think you're absolutely right. I think Marvel's lost its way, its focus. The MCU's making them tons of money, and it's just making them forget about the source material, which
you would think with that, they're like, okay, this is making us a lot of money. What if we do these kind of quality stories with our comics? Maybe we'll move more, then we could have 2 cash cows. What? No way.
You're crazy. Shut up.
Oh, no way. That's too crazy. That's weird.
Yeah, Ed Brewer, they gave him everything Superman. And the question I have is, I wasn't reading a ton of Superman lately. I've just heard this through the grapevine that Jurgen's been doing actually a pretty good job. And I just hope they're not getting rid of somebody who knows Superman, I'm sorry, better than Bendis. No, I can't think of a current artist and writer who knows more about Superman than Dan Jurgens. And just to get Bendis on there, who has seen his better days. I don't mean to talk bad about the guy, but he's seen his better days. And they were a long time ago.
Yeah,
long time ago.
I've been reading the last 2 years of most of his runs, and they're just stale. There's nothing really exciting. I got on Iron Man because Mary Jane wasn't, they moved Mary Jane over to Iron Man. So I was like, well, I guess I got to read Iron Man now. So, and some what was it? I think it was 2015 when I think All New, All Different started, I think. Right? Am I right?
Yep.
After Secret Wars. That run with Marquez doing the art for the first couple issues, that was good. And then it just kind of went mew.
I think I don't want to get in the guy's head, and you guys have talked about it on streams before, and I completely agree that he just checked out. Nobody tells him what to do editorial. I know that for a fact. Nobody tells that guy what to do. He is his own editor. So there's a lot of guys when they get up to a certain level, like J. Michael Straczynski, Matt Fraction. I doubt anybody tells Sean Murphy what to do. Actually, they gave him his own corner of the universe, so they wouldn't tell him what to do. And I think he just lost interest. I think he did.
Yeah, and what James says, I'm having trouble forgiving them for canceling Super Sons because Bendis is coming. It was a great comic, particularly for younger folk. And actually, you're right. A lot of the younger audiences in the store read Super Sons. And a lot of people that love Damon Wayne are like, this is so awful. This is terrible. I'm like, and like, I actually picked up what last week's issue of Super Sons, and I'm like, wow, this is actually really damn good. So yeah, that is
That,
unfortunate.
I heard Eglantine at other comics talking it up, and yeah, and then I heard it got canceled. You know, and he's got pretty decent taste in comics. I trust his taste more than anybody's actually. That you know, him and comics division have well, they're closer taste to mine, I guess. We're
Yeah.
kind of all in the same age bracket, so I trust those guys. And yeah, it was surprised to hear they canceled it. Hopefully they bring it back in some way because I think it's kind of a cool idea, to be honest with you. And it's DC, so you can play with everything in DC, and it's okay. That's kind of the beauty of you know them restarting their universes all the time. They can just do a side story whenever, and it's just okay. If you try that with Marvel, people get a little miffed. So
Well, and what was it? With what because I, read the whole Death of Wolverine, and then Old Man Logan came in, but he was in like 5 titles at one point, and like the continuity of the character was like it was good in his solo run, but in the other ones I'm just like what the hell is going on? Like he's not being himself. Like I don't know. I wish that if you're gonna take a character from another title or like a large, kind of keep the continuity of the character, or kind of ask other editors or other writers, hey, what are you doing with him so we can keep the continuity in check? Yeah, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of characters in different, like the crossover titles with, especially in the X-Men right now. Ugh.
yeah, that's editorial. That's 100%
Yeah.
editorial. That's their job, and they're not doing it. Christ, the MCU does a better job in the comics, and that's bad. Like when they brought the Guardians over to work on Infinity War, they brought in James Gunn. When they brought Black Panther, they brought I'm forgetting his name. He's a homeboy up here in the Bay Area too. Forgive me, but old man.
Yeah.
They brought the director over of Black Panther to talk to him and get hit because they're the ones in control of those characters, and that's how they used to do it forever in Marvel. And we know many of the stories of editorial at Marvel, and hopefully that's getting cleaned up. Yeah, it's more than just spell checking editing in a comic book. Okay, it's keeping a character true to themselves, and you're absolutely right. It's getting lost. I see some chat in there about Priest Deathstroke. I have not read that. I need to read that because I love.
We sold
Priest.
out.
You did? That's great.
Yeah.
That's good. He is so good. His Black Panther run was so goddamn good, and he's done a bunch of other stuff. Did you guys get one of these in your shop?
Ooh.
This is Ed Piskor's X-Men Grand Design, which I completely fell in love with, and he forced him to do. I wish it was an actual treasury size, but I couldn't believe I found one. And my local comic shop like didn't sell one of these, and I was like, "Are you kidding me? These things, this is dope." I mean, I have the comics or anything. Could not recommend Grand Design more. It is so good.
Yeah, we ordered, I think, the volume 1 pretty deep. So yeah, I don't know that particular version, so we didn't get those, but yeah.
I didn't even check the price. I should have probably done that before. How much is it? It's not bad. It's $30. I mean, that's kind of expensive for essentially 2 big comics, but it's pretty, and it's got like a weird inky smell that's kind of awesome, which you
can't smell over the internet.
Smell over the internet. So just trust me on that one. Oh my, Ryan Kugler, thank you, Dante S. Dante S is always coming in saving my ass. So is Ed Brewer. Yes, yeah, that thing was nice. I like, oh my god, because it was kind of a light week for me. I need to readjust my saver a little bit. So I got White Knight, of course, right there. White Knight.
So good.
And then this crazy Avengers book, which I don't know. Sometimes it's good. Then I get this. Okay, this is habitual collector in me. The book is kind of terrible, but I just get Green Arrow because I love Green Arrow, and then Green Lantern, and that was it. But then I saw the cover of Comic Shop News. You get Comic Shop News? Do you get?
Oh
Comic
yeah,
Shop
absolutely.
News? Okay, so I'm gonna kind of spur just about one thing, and you'll know. Okay, so when you see this haircut all the time, when's that haircut gonna get old? The shaved sides of the heads. I mean, like everybody has it now.
Yeah,
I
don't
remember
know.
having that when I was like 16, but
I never did it.
No, I mean it's cool and everything. It's just like every single person in a comic book has that haircut now. It's like mix it up a little bit, please.
What happened to long, wavy, awesome hair?
Yeah, when's that gonna come back? Someday. I'm holding out for the mullet coming back myself.
Long shot.
Yeah. Well, Shatterstar is going to be in Deadpool, so that and it's like it's going to be full Shatterstar with the big ponytail and the crazy costume. Awesome. Yeah, I can't wait for that. What's the best sci-fi comic? What's the best, in your opinion, Feisty? What is the best science fiction comic book currently running that you know of? If there's any, there might not be any.
I'm trying to think.
Robert Plant, 1974 hair. Damn straight. Right there.
God, I don't. The last one I read came out I think the last issue came out in either December or January. It was a World Reader written by Cullen Bunn. I really enjoyed that.
Ooh, I got to check that one out. I have not heard of that. I would recommend.
Now, yeah.
Would Versus be considered sci-fi from Image?
Yeah, because it's futuristic sci-fi. Oh, I'm sorry. Jeff Loveness wrote World Reader. He's one of my favorite writers. So pick up. It's Aftershock book. World Reader. It's out in trade. Wando, my boy, did the art. It's fantastic. So it's like paranormal science fiction. So It's got some. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's neat.
I'm down. I'm totally down. Versus. I've read one issue. The art is unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah,
it's
really... Assad Ribic. So come on, like he's the man.
Yeah, the story's pretty good. When's the Counterpart comic book coming out? I hope so. That would be a cool comic. I'd read if they did a bunch of side stories for Counterpart. Counterpart's a TV. I don't know if you've seen it or not. It's a sci-fi TV show with the guy who played J. Jonah Jameson in Spider-Man, J.K. Simmons, and it's a spy drama where there was an accident in the 80s, and our reality got duplicated.
Ooh.
So there's like a whole it's a Cold War spy drama with the sci-fi twist. So there's a building over a tunnel in the ground that goes to another reality that's exactly like ours, except since the accident, it's been drifting apart. So everybody has a what's called a counterpart. Everybody has an other that, again, when the accident happened, you shared the same past. You were the same person till the accident happened. Then you split into two, and then you started drifting apart in personality. And what you drift apart on is an action. It's not nature. It's like something happens to you in your life, and then you drift apart. So it's spy versus spy, and sometimes the spies are each other. So you got a J.K. Simmons versus a J.K. Simmons. And it is a crazy TV show. It's on Stars, and we just stumbled across it and got obsessed with it. It's good stuff.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's so awesome. As the show creator puts it, he takes this fantastic sci-fi and wraps it in the mundane of bureaucracy, and it's really cool. That's very cool. Yes. Sorry to go off on Counterpart.
Oh, no. Yeah, I know you were talking. Wait, yeah, I don't think you knew that the Expanse had a trade that came out too. So that
I did not. I need to get that. I should probably send you. I'll just buy it from your store. I'll just send you money.
I'll make sure we have one for you.
I'll send you money, and then you can order it. And
sounds good.
There it is. There, I'm sure Diamond's got a copy. The Expanse is coming out next week. I'm very, very excited about that. I'm excited to get back in the comics though, because I'll be honest, I was done, and I didn't read them for 3 years. And I had a deal where I could go. My shop still exists. It's still there. It's called the Comics Experience Outpost. Actually, it shows up on England Teens Top 10 like every week, because the owner knows Rich Johnston from Bleeding Cool. So his 2 stores end up on that top 10 every week. And I have a deal where I could go in there and get the comics cheap. I just can't go in. I can't do it. It's too hard. So I go to another store and pay full price. But I'm happy to do it, and I'm so happy to be reading again. And
that's awesome.
It's all part of this journey to get back into it. So,
no, that's good. No, I've been especially with kind of branching, because I was Marvel through and through, didn't really touch DC, but then I started reading older Catwoman because I went to a a parking lot sale or something, and I found a bunch of old like Catwoman I started reading. Then I started reading New 52 Catwoman, and then I started branching out into Batman. And now, like, I've never read as much DC ever in my life than I have been reading right now. Like, it's been it's been nice because I'm like, ooh. And then from then, I've been reading a lot of indie stuff. I've Aftershock. I have what Unholy Grail, World. They put out World Reader, Dark Arc. Dark Arc is fantastic, by the way. That's a Cullen Bunn, Wando as well. I think that just got an ongoing.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, their number one went into third printings, which was great for. I know Joe Pruitt really well too, so he's good.
I'm taking
people.
notes.
The
paper out.
But so the premise of Dark Arc is basically like, you know how the arc existed with all the animals. Well, this is the one with all the like evil mythological beings, and so like vampires and unicorn. Yeah, it's so good, and the art is so awesome. I managed to actually get a page from number one from the artist. It's the first page, like original comic book page I've purchased. That's how much I love this art, and that's how much I love this book. It's just it's so much fun. So
that's why we love comics. I mean, there's no budget holding them back, and they can do crazy. You get your craziest storytelling in comics right now, and that's why Hollywood's been pining it so much, because that's where all the good writing is going. To be honest with you, there's some good, those books with words in them, which we read a lot less of when we are involved in comic stores because we're reading so much anyway. There's still good ones out there, but comic books is still where it's at, baby.
I know, yeah. Like I was reading books for like when I was out of comic books from like 2009 to 2000. What was it, 13, 14 or whatever? I was reading like actual books, but now I haven't set foot into a bookstore in a while, so I'm like, dang. Oh well.
Yeah. You will again sometime, but it's like, yeah, the only books I even read now are all like David Hatcher Childress and Ancient Alien stuff. So
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, it's fun. I like it. Graham Hancock was Magicians of the Gods, was a great book, by the way. Highly recommend it to people out there. It's basically about kind of his Atlantis theory, to break it down to really something simplistic. Yeah. But it's not like like Space Atlantis with Aquaman around. It's it's something more believable, something more grounded. So what was the comic book that you loved enough it turned you into fans
and comic shop professionals?
Ooh. How about you, Feisty?
Well, yeah, like my first comic book I ever read was Wolverine number 65. And I don't know. I fell in love with the character. I've always liked more action, kind of gritty stuff. Like I was kind of a tomboy growing up, so I don't know. I don't know that I can relate to Logan or Wolverine in any sense, but I don't know. I really enjoy seeing a character that has no real consequences for his actions. You know what I mean? Like he really doesn't. Like
no, he's got psychological ones, but no, as far as physical consequence, I mean, like he hurts a little bit when you hurt him, but he heals, and that's what he's the Gen X superhero. His weapons readily available at him. He's got the healing factor, but he's also scrappy, but he's also a hopeless romantic. Yes. He's in love with a woman he could never have.
I know. And, I'm just like, I can love you. Let me fix you. Yeah. The codependent in me.
Oh God, yes. Thank you.
Yes.
Maybe that's why I like him. Yeah, I remember it. I've told the story here before. I'll tell it again. There's a bunch of comics, but my very first comic was bought in a 7-Eleven in San Marcos, California in 1974. That's a long time ago. It was Marvel Team Up number 42. And it was Amazing Spider-Man and the Vision. And they had to rescue Wanda, who was trapped in the 1600s by some evil pilgrim, and Dr. Doom. And they fought them. And it was John Byrne art. I didn't know it.
Oh, God, I love John Byrne.
Yeah. When he was just starting out, before he was on the X-Men, it was just, oh, my God. The comic, and it was 25 cents. It was a freaking quarter, and it said that it had the still only 25 cents on it. And I was off to the races after that. After that, my mom took me back, and she had some leverage over me. Finally, it's like, I'll give you a comic if you do this. And I started doing stuff because I'd get comic books. And then I got some Mego toys. I got a Mego Human Torch, and that was off to the races. But what turned me into a pro was Dark Knight Returns and Daredevil. Frank Miller's Daredevil. That
one was really good.
Yeah, that kept me going, and yeah, it was just an absolute obsession, lifelong obsession that still is happening. That 3-year break I just took was the longest break I've ever taken from comics in my life, and don't plan to take another one.
Yeah, I that long break. Almost 10-year break for me. Yeah, it was big. Yeah, so yeah. I've been rereading. So I liquidated my whole collection and I started recollecting in 2014. So now with going to swap meets, other outlets, I am now 17 short boxes deep. So I don't mess around. Yeah, I don't mess around, man.
That is great. Yeah, I had this uber collection, and I sold part of it with the store. I kept some of it, and no regrets. It's like, I'll collect what I want again. It's the thrill of the hunt anyway. It
really is. That's why I like having a good back issue selection too, because some people are like, ooh, like seeing what people spend like 45 minutes to an hour just going through the back issue collection, and then seeing what they come up with at the counter, and they're like, I can't believe you guys had this, and like, them reminiscing and them being all nostalgic. It's fun. It's such a cool thing.
No, it's a slice of heaven. Like working in a comic store, it never got boring. I always kept myself busy. I was surrounded by comics all the time, and people would stay in my store, and I'm sure they do the same for hours, chit chatting away. Dude, that's why Dennis and I started this podcast. Is we missed that. That was the thing I missed the most from the comic store, was talking,
geeking out.
Yeah. Oh my god, it killed me. It's like my wife was like, shut up about Spider-Man already. So I was like, okay, I need to talk to some other people about this.
I need to make some other real human being friends.
Yes. Right. But you know what, you sold your comic for good reason. I mean, a marriage that lasts is a good reason. There you go.
Almost, been together 14 years. We'll be married for 9 in October. So yeah.
Oh, October. We got married in October, my wife and I too. Halloween or some other day?
So the story, I wanted to get married on Halloween, but when we went to the venue, getting married on a Friday was like 3 times cheaper than getting married on a Saturday. So it's like, I can settle with October 30th.
That's cool. Oh my god, our anniversaries are a day apart. That's great. We did Vegas for like $400.
That's awesome.
Yeah, my first one cost.
Yeah.
It costs money going in and going out. We'll just say that. Yeah. Marriage plus comics free. Yes. You are the second person, England team being the first, that sold their comic collection for love, and another person. Makes me feel so bad.
No, I have a lot. I've collected my collection, if not more. So cheaper this time around because of how I was smart about my purchasing this time. So
there you go.
So don't feel bad, and he's worth it. So it was worth it.
Absolutely. No, I would. I'll say this because she might make me do it. I would sell my comics for my wife in a second. So, yeah, I would, but I don't want her to really know that.
But not your toys, right?
Oh no, hell no, no. I gotta be careful because funniest thing happened. So I was joking around about my first wife because my first wife didn't like comic collecting very much. And I just did a little side comic going, well, that's why she was my first wife. And we haven't talked to each other in like 16 years. I got a freaking Facebook message out of nowhere saying, I'm sorry if I ever got on you about your comic collecting. And from my first wife, it's like, I'm like, she was watching me on YouTube. That's so weird.
That is crazy. Some serious internet stalking. Wow.
Yeah. I was like, you never know who's watching. So I was like, and then I said it back. I was only kind of kidding.
Kind of.
Yeah.
I mean, he, like, my husband is, doesn't understand it and doesn't like read, but he doesn't dismiss it and he doesn't put me down for it most of the time, because I'm not dismissive or make fun of his love for music and the fact that he's a musician. We are very much into bringing each other up in what makes us each other happy, because we're very understanding of the fact that we're two separate people, but we're in a relationship where we have to work together, and it's better for us and the dynamics of a relationship to be supportive of our hobbies. So when he tells me to reel it in, I reel it in. He's like, I don't want you to stop because it makes you happy, but we do have bills. I know we don't have kids, but we have bills, and I'd like to go on a vacation sometime. I'm like, I understand. So, but yeah, he's got like, I think 7 different bases. So I'm like, hey, I've spent less on comic books than you have on musical instruments, sir.
Oh, he's a bass player. I'm a bass player too. Oh man.
What is this? This is crazy.
Good night, Pem Farm Girl. I know it's good. Yeah, we're gonna wrap up here in a few minutes. I don't want to keep Feisty up too late. I could talk to her forever. I could talk about comic stuff forever. But let's go for a few more. Let's go till like it's 10. Let's go for like 5 more minutes. Is that cool?
That's fine. Yeah, I'm good. Cool. I don't have to be at work till like 5 tomorrow, so I got
nice. Can I tell you how effing crazy it's been at my work? Oh my god. Everybody knows where it's no freaking secret. I work at Tesla, and I've been working like 13, 14-hour days.
Oh no, I'm sorry.
It's been nuts. Yeah. It's okay. It's good overtime. I'm gonna say that it's very good overtime, and they treat us really. It's a really, really good place to work. Nothing bad to say about my boy Elon at all. So
that's good.
Yeah, I'm a fanboy of his. So I'll work a few extra hours for him. No problem. Oh, thank you. How's your father for just upvoting? And Feisty, keep your eye on Feisty, because she's gonna have a channel here pretty soon someday, and it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. She
got some really interesting ideas. I just got to find the right editing tools, because I have history in fashion design. That's what I have a degree in. So I'm gonna be dissecting fashion in comics.
That is brilliant.
Nobody's doing it.
I love it. I freaking love it. Oh my god.
So yeah.
And we talked about this, and I really looked this time. So there are some comic book retailers out there who've got YouTube channels, but they don't really hit it every week or as much as they should. I don't mean to should anybody, and I hate to give people ideas, but that I could use myself. But a comic shop should have a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Every single one should. And
Twitter, Instagram, anything to do. We'll talk about that more when we talk on comics divisions.
Oh, absolutely. So,
yes.
That's a good time to plug it, right?
That's a good time.
So comics division, we're going to be talking about marketing and what comic shops can do. And that's what we were supposed to talk about tonight. So I think I don't know if it's going to be another day soon, and I will tell you guys on Twitter. So will Feisty Fan. It'll be on my website. We talked about Sunday, but I don't think you can do Sunday, right? Or Sunday.
I have a ongoing stream I've been doing with Danger Reporter. It's the Comically Odd Couple, and we talk about the indie comics and the really odd stuff. So we both pick 2 issues and then one to sell. So it only goes an hour. Both of us kind of, we're like, I don't want to go too long, because not that I love comics stream, but the 4-hour stream, I was like, okay, I gotta pee.
Yeah. That's why I was trying to keep an eye. Sorry about that.
Oh no, you're fine. Don't worry about it.
No, that's cool. And that what was that? Let's plug that. That's on Danger Reporter. Is that the
his channel? Danger Reporter. I call him Sarge. So I'll have to find the link to give it to you. But yeah, so I do that every Sunday, either 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. So
cool.
It's a good way. We're very upbeat and positive. Good nightcap for the week, talking about fun indie comics. Yep.
I think I'll watch it. I'm not streaming it all that night. So I will find the link, and we will put that in the description when this rolls over into a video. Our next video will be tomorrow night. Dennis and Susan's going to be back. Susan Layton from 1428 elm.com. We're going to be going over her website and doing our Friday Night Live thing tomorrow, and then I'm doing a Farscape thing on Saturday, I think. So I'm watching Farscape for the first time and then reviewing the episodes because I've never seen it.
I've never seen. I was thinking about doing that too. Maybe we should do that together. Ooh,
oh, totally. The show's wonderful. It is really wonderful, and I would love to have somebody do it.
Yeah, Roulette Productions. That's it. Yeah.
See, yes. Oh, see, I can't see. I've been doing it alone, so this is good. We should talk about that because I would love to have Dennis, my co-host, doesn't like the show, so he doesn't want to do it.
I have never seen it, so I would be going in with fresh, like open. It's on Netflix, right?
It's not on Netflix. You have to buy it per episode, but what I can do is I can buy it and then I'll share my password with you. So
okay,
there it is there.
I could give you my HBO login if we want to do that.
I've got thank you. I've got all the logins. I'm good. I get it on YouTube and it's $1.99, so it's $2.
Okay.
No big deal.
Someone said, so when it comes to fashion, what are your thoughts on the new upcoming Dazzler if you have seen it? I saw the cover. I actually cosplayed as Disco Dazzler as one of my first cosplays when I went to Comic-Con for the first time in like 2003. So I'm a huge fan of that over-the-top silver jumpsuit. If I can find a picture, I'll show you because it was pretty badass. But awesome. I mean, I know that they're going for the punk look, but again, I'm pretty sure she has the shaved side of the head and she's not blonde. It doesn't feel like Dazzler. It like kind of okay. I'm gonna dump on Spider-Man: Homecoming right now. Great movie. Don't get me wrong. Wasn't my Peter Parker.
Nope.
He was a cool character with Spider-Man powers. That's how I saw it. So I, and that's how I'm looking at this next. I'm like, okay, so she's not, Alison Blair, but okay, we'll see. I'm gonna buy it because I'm a huge Dazzler fan. Yeah, I know I'm a Dazzler fan. Who knew? But I don't like the direction, but yeah, so
it's a one shot, but I agree with you. Dazzler. It's what everybody else is saying, that the punk look, it doesn't really go with what she's about.
She's a performer. She's, I don't know. Like I think of Dazzler as I kind of think of Cher.
Yeah. Yeah, she's a pop singer. She's an uber pop singer, and yeah, the punked out look, which I know like Pink is, but she's more like I don't know. I can't I'm trying.
I don't listen to a lot of this. I still listen to classic rock. Like I don't
listen to I don't know. Just stuff. She's not like Pink. That's all I know. She's more like one of the other. I can't think of any of them, but Dazzler, Gem and the Holograms.
Yeah, there you go.
That's what she's like. She's a glamazon. That's how she's supposed to look. So, thank you, Penn Farm Girl. $1.99 from Penn Farm Girl.
Yeah.
Yay, super chats. We love them. Yeah, it's up way past everybody's bedtime. So, I'm going to wrap this up. Ed Brewer, thanks for hanging out with us. Always, Ed comes in. I'm sure you've seen him over there with.
Yeah, I have.
He's a stream person. That's why I've met him over there. That's why I met him. Zell Bellringer, I thank all my people in here. Silver Spike 1, Metal Horror Gamer, Penn Farm Girl, James Hayes, How's Your Father? Dante S, Senator Hung, Major Tom 331. I'm trying to think if I saw anybody else up there. I like to think. Did I say Silver Spike 1? Silver Spike's awesome. Yeah, he's the one who's worked on Doctor Who. I need to Apple Crow, the great Apple Crow. He's one of our patrons. So is Penn Farm Girl.
I'm a patron now too.
You are a patron too. Yes. And you're gonna. I gotta send you your fun little package. I gave there's something extra in it too. So if I missed anybody, I'm sorry. I'll thank you later. And is there anything else you want to plug?
Not that I know of.
Okay.
Yeah. So Roulette Productions though, Sunday night, 9:30 Pacific Standard Time. Yes. Comically Odd Couple.
Comically Odd Couple. I love it. I'm gonna put all those links. I'm gonna put your Twitter in the description and everything, and we'll pub you. And also Comics Division. Please check out Comics Division. Subscribe to his channel, and we will be on there soon. And thanks to him for letting us have his time slot tonight. Really appreciate it.
Yeah.
but this time slot, in my opinion, belongs to him.
Yes.
And also to England Team out there, I want to thank England Team. He's done some nice pub for this channel too, and I really appreciate it. And yeah, so I guess at that point we'll say goodnight, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us on a Thursday night. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, it was fun. I like this.
I love talking to Feisty. I can't wait. Farscape coming up.
I'm gonna have to watch it. I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. Good night, everybody.
Night, guys.